Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, there are very few people who speak in English, about Allah and His attributes and His greatness, about the orders of Allah and how to follow the true path in order to reach Allah. There is almost none except me, with the permission of Allah. I asked a couple of my, those who follow me, to speak in English. He's a professor, associate professor. He said, no, I cannot. I can only speak about my subject, my line of expertise, which is computer science. But I cannot speak about Islam. There are some who can speak English about Islam, but not about, the greatness of Allah. Even in their own language, if they speak or give lecture about Islam, hardly they speak about the greatness of Allah. Because they couldn't do it. They don't have the expertise on the subject matter. The subject matter is Tawheed. The subject matter is to talk about the belief in the oneness of Allah. You can check, even people who speak in their own language also about Islam, they hardly talk about the oneness of Allah. Because to them this is not interesting, or whether they don't know how to speak about the oneness of Allah, because they don't have the belief in the oneness of Allah. In their hearts, they have other belief, not the belief in the oneness of Allah. So that's the reason, that's why many so-called religious scholars are not able to talk about the oneness of Allah. Because they themselves don't have the belief. They talk about other things, about Islam, but not about the foundation of Islam. Very few or hardly none who speak about the foundation. What is the foundation of Islam? Is the belief in the oneness of God, or in the belief in the great kalima, there is no God except Allah. This, when the Prophet ﷺ was asked as to what is the foundation of Islam, he answered to this question with the answer that the kalima which I have invited my uncle Abu Talib to recite, he had refused it. In order for this great kalima to enter into our hearts, our belief, at least to the minimum level which Allah is pleased, we have to speak about this great kalima daily, abundantly, and to hear the great kalima. There is no God except Allah. There is no one who can do except Allah. Good and bad come from Allah. These such words. the tafseer of the great kalima, the meaning of the great kalima have to be uttered, recited daily in the way Muhammad SAW has uttered, have spoken. And we have to hear these words daily. Some people have interpreted this as zikr, sitting down and saying La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. We do that in Malaysia too. When someone invited others to have dinner or some food in their house, so before eating, they will be reciting. They will be hymning some verses of Quran, and part of it they will be making zikr of La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah. This is not the way on how to make this great kalima to enter into heart. Okay, this is zikr. The best zikr is La ilaha illallah. Afdalu zikri fa'alam annahu la ilaha illallah. The best zikr is La ilaha illallah. But this one is not, this kalima, in order to penetrate into our hearts, install in our heart, we have to speak about this kalima, not to make zikr. That's why in the Quran it is mentioned that whose words are better. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Not zikr. Whose words are better than the words of calling people, inviting people to Allah. So we have to speak these words, as our Prophet ﷺ has spoken, to the people, by going to the people, in lanes and roads and villages and towns and cities and countries, inviting them to this kalima, and to those who have recited the kalima, to remind them and to ask them to remind themselves about this kalima. We should make halqa of talking about this kalima. Everyone should speak about this kalima to each other, not to make zikr. La ilaha illallah, not to talk about the kalima. I remind myself and you, there is no God except Allah. There is no doer except Allah. There is none who can give benefit or harm except Allah. Whatever we want to have, we have to ask only Allah. There is none who can give us except Allah. This. Then everyone goes in a circle, and everyone is reminding themselves and others about this kalima. These are what we should do in our house, with our family, with our friends. Besides going to people who are not reciting, we have not recited the kalima. That means the non-believers, and tell them about this kalima and invited them to recite the kalima. Before that, we have to tell them as to why he has to recite this kalima. What are the benefits that they will gain by reciting this kalima frequently and hearing this kalima frequently. And the reason as to why and what are the benefits, so that they will accept this kalima. You must tell the non-Muslim that in order to become the people of truth, we have to recite the kalima of truth. We can't become the people of truth by eating good food, by eating meat and fresh vegetables, or by doing physical exercise or sports. These are not means for the great kalima to enter into our heart. Not the zikr, La ilaha illallah. This is also not the means for the kalima to enter our heart. The means in which Allah has used for the kalima to enter is the work of inviting people to recite this kalima or reminding people about the kalima to those who have recited with the sacrifice our own time and wealth in the way which has been done by Muhammad Sallam with the intention to please Allah. These are the means. Because by doing the work of inviting people to this kalima and reminding them about kalima with the sacrifice of our own wealth and time in the way Muhammad Sallam with the intention to please Allah will make the love of these worldly things to come out from our hearts, and the kalima that we have uttered to others enter into our heart. In this way, a time will come when this kalima will reach to the level, at least to the minimum which Allah is pleased. And when we have reached the level of the kalima in our heart to the level which Allah is pleased, then we become the true believers with the good deeds. But it's not only that level of iman that we need to achieve. We have to achieve even more and more until we become the lover of Allah. So this is the work which has never been mentioned. It's not mentioned since I don't know when since, but it's only mentioned by me, vividly and clearly, on how to attain iman. The work on how to attain iman remain unknown. Is in the shadow, has never been made clear to the mankind by anyone in the past. So the reason that's why, because nobody understands the work. Nobody has been given the ilm or the way on how to do it. The prophets are doing it, but they have not probably have taught his followers or their followers about how to do the work. I wouldn't know why the works has perished, has never been able to be, practiced by anyone since till today. They don't want to do this work. The reason as to why it doesn't exist and it doesn't remain alive after the death of the Prophet, because they don't want to do the work. Because the work is so hard. It needs a person to sacrifice their wealth and time. And these two things people do not want to give, time and their wealth, because they love the worldly things. They don't want to give time because they want to use the time to acquire wealth, not to acquire iman. So iman is only words. They do not know the value of iman. They do not know the work on how to acquire iman. So the work on how to acquire iman remain unknown to the entire mankind till I come. Even then, until today, there are very few who follow me. Even in Malaysia, it's only about 5-10 people probably. But I'm not afraid of that, because the one who will take or make people to follow this way is not me, it's Allah. So I remain patient and persevere in my work of inviting the whole mankind to do this work. Those who follow me, they don't care as to whether people do this work or not. They don't have the worry. They don't even the worry of themselves on how iman will be in their hearts. What more to worry about others? I'm worried. But only few people follow, and a few in Brunei, few in Bengkulu, Indonesia. That's about all. But it's okay. A time will come, I strongly have the belief, a time will come when thousands and millions people in all over the world will do this work. Because everything takes time. It's not easy to make a bridge. It takes time to make a bridge. It takes time to make a road. Similarly, it takes time to show the road to the truth. And I have to work hard as much as I can. But the real doer is not me, it's Allah. With the belief that the real doer is Allah, I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. No, I'm always having peace with myself. I'm not worried that nobody follow this work. It's not my work. Why I'm not worried? Because it's not my work to make them to follow. My work is only to invite them, and I keep on inviting them with steadfastness and persistence. That is the order of Allah. But the one who will take them to do this work, make them to do the work, is Allah. When the time has come for Allah, to make people to do this work, they will do it. When the time has not come, there's nobody who will do it. So I remain happy because I learned it from the Quran. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told to all the messengers of Allah, particularly to our Prophet Muhammad sallam, you do not grieve, Allah says to him. Do not grieve. Do not have grief on those who have refused to follow you. Do not have grief to those who are mocking you. Remain steadfastness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do not want Rasul sallallahu to pay his attention, to the mockery, to the words of dislike of the unbelievers, because that will hamper the work. If Rasul sallam is to focus on the mockery, on the words which are uttered by the non-believers to him, then he will be more occupied with this, not occupied with the work. So Allah told him, don't be sad, don't have the grief. Go on with steadfastness, with persistence, to invite people to me. So this is the work given to our Prophet Sallam and to his followers. The work of inviting people to Allah is not only the work of the messengers of Allah, it is also the work of his followers. But all this while, the belief which men have is the work of inviting people to Allah is only the work of the prophets, it's not the work of his followers. That's why every time after the Prophet has died or has expired from this work, the work vanishes into the thin air. Nobody is doing it. And then Allah sent another Prophet. When the Prophet died, the work goes to the thin air. That goes on and on. Until Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he died, the work also goes to the thin air. Until today only, one of the followers of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is me, wake up to revive this work with the blessing of Allah, with the rahmat of Allah. I will never be able to revive this work unless with the permission of Allah. So that's why all of a sudden, that you hear this lecture, that after reciting the great kalima, the first order of Allah is not to perform salat. For all this while, Muslims have understood that the work which has to be done after reciting the kalima is salat. Salat is the first order of Allah after reciting the kalima. And this is generally the understanding which all the entire Muslim, the entire world believe since the day when Nabi Sallam has passed away from this world. Even probably when Nabi Sallam is alive, they also believe as such. They never understand the fact that the first order of Allah after reciting the kalima is to do the work of inviting people to Allah, or inviting people to good, forbidding people with steadfastness, daily. Probably nobody understands it. That's why it never meant to become alive. Nobody strive for this work to be revived. Everybody is happily embrace Islam with the understanding that the first order of Allah after reciting kalima is to pray 5 times a day. When someone has embraced Islam, we'll tell him the first order you have to do, pray. Nobody is saying the first order is to do dawah, to do the work of inviting people to. Nobody. Nobody, brother, until I come. So who I am? So I am certainly a person who has been sent to revive this religion. The religion has become dissolution. The religion has been broken into pieces like a buildings has been shattered into pieces. It's a ground now, level. No building at all. Muslims are only by names, by inheritance. It's not in them, it's not by names. So Islam is like a building which has been shattered into pieces, level to the ground. Now we have to make the foundation. We can't build the Islam or we can make more stories of the building, no. The whole building is shattered into pieces, level to the ground. In order to build it, we have to make the foundation now. The foundation is not there, at all. So how hard it will be. But no matter how hard it will be, it's not me who will do it, it's Allah. I'm only the means. So we have to make the building, the foundation. The foundation is to have the kalima to enter into the hearts of everyone who are living in this world to the level which Allah has placed. That is the asas. That is the foundation. Unless a person is having this kalima in his heart to the level which Allah has placed, he has not able to have the foundation of Islam. When he doesn't have the foundation of Islam, he will never have Islam, never. He probably have Islam by name as we are now. Like Sufyan. His name is Sufyan. He's a Muslim by name. He never prayed before. He never fast. Isn't it Sufyan? He never pray and he never fast before. But he's just moving around, putting the form, your religion, Islam. He never prayed. When we invite him to do the work of dawah, at that time we are doing Jamaat Tabligh, and he said, I refuse to do, because he doesn't invite the non-Muslim. But he doesn't do dawah, but he just refused to do dawah by giving the reasons. So he doesn't pray, he smoke, he do many evil things, he don't fast, don't give zakat, except zakat fitrah. And that's what, it is only Islam by names. Similarly, Pendi, he done some tabligh, but then when he married, he left tabligh and become like Sufyan, Islam by names. Turn back to become apostate. To turn back to become unbelievers. So Sufyan used to be like the unbelievers, except that he's recited the kalima. He has no foundation. Some people who don't have the foundation practicing Islam which they practice is just names. Like the salat is just shapes, appearance of a salat, but not the real salat. If we fast, if we go to Hajj, only appearance, because there is no foundation. If we want Islam that we practice, it's not only appearance, but the true Islam, what we call it hakikat, then we must have foundation of Islam. In other words, we must have the great kalima to enter into our heart to the level more than the level which Allah has placed. So my dear brothers, it is sure and certainly the reason as to why we are only Islam by names, by picture, is just because we do not have the foundation. We busy learning about Islam or the building, how to make the buildings, how to shape the building, lecture about the building, but we never learn about how to make the foundation of the building. So nobody is doing anything about the foundation. Neither the scholars nor the common man. The scholars also, they don't know. They also practice Islam, which is by appearance, having shape, but not the true Islam, not Islam hakikat. All are practicing Islam which are known as surat. Surat means picture, not hakikat. Hakikat means the truth. So this we can use, the word surat and hakikat. Surat means only names, picture. Like a flower, a beautiful flower, but it's only plastic flower. It doesn't have smell. The bees will not go to that flower because there's no smell. It's a plastic flowers. Some don't even have flowers at all. No, not even the surat of Islam, not even the appearance of Islam. No Islam at all. Those who have Islam, only surat, appearance, not hakikat. Because everyone do not have the foundation of Islam. We know very well that when we want to make any building, we must have to have the foundation of the building. We have to do the foundation first. We can never make a building without making the foundation. Because why? That's what the engineers are telling. They are the one who make buildings, high-rise building. They know. You cannot make a high-rise building if you don't first make the foundation of the building. So similarly, we want to make the building, the Islamic building, but we don't want to make the foundation. Or we do not know. Not to say that we do not want, we do not know all this while on how to make the foundation. So we just practice Islam, making the building and it collapse. So making the building is collapse. It never remained firm and solid. So my dear brothers, this mistake of ours since centuries, these mistakes of the entire mankind since the time of Adam, which has never been realized by anyone, has now come to the surface. That means man, after being deceived by the devils from the time of Adam, there will come a time now when we understand Islam as first we have to make the foundation, then only we'll make the building. Then the devil, Satan, will never be able to make that building to collapse anymore. So the Shaitan or the devil, the jinns who hate Islam to the core will cry, will scream that the time has come when all my efforts will be of no use. Because all Muslim, all people who embrace Islam, they understand that the first thing they have to do, they have to make the foundation. They have to do the work of inviting people to Allah. They have to go from road to road, lane to lane, village to village, city to city, country to country, inviting everyone to recite this kalima, reminding those who have recited the kalima about this kalima, sacrificing their own wealth and time, and doing it the way Muhammad Sallam has done, with the intention to please Allah. Then when everyone is doing this work, the Shaitan and devil knows very well that I'm no longer be able to persuade the children of Adam to abandon the religion of Islam. I will be screaming, and there will be few people, who will be with me in the hellfire. So our main enemy, devils, I will become very frustrated with the fact that Allah has sent at last a man from the east. The man from the east is mentioned in the hadith. So where's the east of Mecca and Medina? Is Malaysia. It's not India. It's not Thailand. It's not Singapore. It's not Hong Kong. It's not Thailand. It's Malaysia. the country where I live. So, you must follow him. Listen to his lecture. Make others to listen to it. Read the Quran which he has made interpretation. Professor Dr. Nasoha. You can obtain this Quran of his interpretation from Amazon.com, from Google's Play. You read it, understand it, practice it. And you come to Malaysia to learn the work, to see how the work is done. So, when everybody come to this work, come to the work of making the foundation of Islam strong, then you will see the Muslim are having the true Islam. The building is strong and firm. It can never collapse anymore. And when the whole world, there are many people who have become the true believers in good deeds, then the whole world will be at peace and tranquility. People will be in love with each other, having affection, having courtesy, having forgiving to each other. The whole world, are moving towards making the world as part of paradise. Allah then shower His blessing to the entire world, making fruits to grow, plants to grow, animals to become friendly. The sustenance which Allah will give to the people of the world will be abundance. Rain will fall at its correct time. There will be no calamities. There's no punishment being given to them, because everybody is obeying the orders of Allah. Truly obeying the orders of Allah. This is the world which we are trying to make to be a better place to live for some time. Then later on, when we die as a true believer with good deeds, Allah has promised us that we'll be in a much, much better place than this world, which is paradise. So my dear brothers, this is why I've been talking and speaking only on this very important work, the work of inviting people to Allah. This work has been buried for so long. It takes time to make it to become alive, but it will become alive. A time will come. I am fully convinced of the fact that I will be used as a means for propagating this religion of Islam towards the end of the world.